I think what Curt Cignetti has done, I really think it's the best coaching job that I have ever seen in my life. And you got Curt Cignetti, who just walks into the mouth of hell, lights a cigarette on a gargoyle's head, takes a couple of puffs, tosses it on the ground, puts it out with his foot, and says, I'm going to kick everybody.
I think Curt Cignetti is doing an awesome job based off of the rules of today.
Best coaching job I've ever seen, which is the reality, Ron. I think what Curt Cignetti has done, I really think it's the best coaching job that I have ever seen in my life. College or pro, any sport, and I'll just read it here. What Curt Cignetti has done at Indiana is the most impressive coaching feat I've seen in my lifetime in any sport. Indiana's football program has been legally dead since the Truman administration. This motherfucker showed up, started whipping everybody immediately. It's jaw-dropping. Now, do you deduct a few points from the impressiveness of that because of the era we're living in? I mean, I don't think he does that at Indiana in the 1980s or the 90s, but I still think, even so, it's incredibly impressive. And the other tweet that I put out there was contrasting Cignetti and Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. Because Lane Kiffin, and a lot of people defended this, he leaves Ole Miss at the altar, basically. He guides that team to the college football playoff, and God bless them, look at how well they did getting to where they were. I mean, they damn near made it to the championship game without him. Okay, but people defended that, saying, well, he's got a better chance of winning at LSU. And I said, well, in this new era where, as you said earlier, Ron, it's a financial transaction more than anything, do you still need to be LSU? Do you need to be Ohio State? Ryan Day going in and saying, I'm going to need more money to do this, evidently means that he doesn't think being Ohio State alone is going to get the job done anymore. So why is Lane Kiffin, why is LSU a better job than Ole Miss? Isn't the job as good as you're making it as the coach in the modern era? Because as I said here, Lane Kiffin, college football is so fucking hard. I'm going to leave my fucking team before they play in the fucking, Sugar Bowl, and I'm going to go to LSU. I'm just going to peace out on these kids. I'm gone. Kids I recruited, I'm leaving. Good luck. Hope that you can make it the rest of the way. And then on the other hand, you got Curt Cignetti, who just walks into the mouth of hell, lights a cigarette on a gargoyle's head, takes a couple of puffs, tosses it on the ground, puts it out with his foot, and says, I'm going to kick everybody's ass at Indiana. Which is it? Which is the reality, Ron?
All right, so I'm going to answer the question that you asked a couple minutes ago. All right, so Curt Cignetti doing he's the best coaching job in history. Okay, here's what I think, Ricky. I think Curt Cignetti is doing an awesome job based off of the rules of today. Today, there's a reason that this man who is 64 years old had never been a head coach in Big D1 before. There has to be a reason. He clearly wasn't like,
people didn't understand how good he was. That's the reason.
Ricky,
people didn't understand how good he was.
I don't necessarily think Curt Cignetti trying to be being the Curt Cignetti of today would not necessarily be as successful in 2009. So here's the truth. They have an average age on that roster of 23 years old. They're playing with men, all right? He brought kids that were not high recruits that were with him at James Madison to Indiana when he went, and they're doing an amazing job. I am not taken away from what he has accomplished. I'm just suggesting that he's just doing it with these rules better than the other people are doing them with these rules. He also has Mark
that's all
Cuban's
anybody
money.
Can do.
No,
that's all anybody. Yeah, I don't want to hear about Mark Cuban's money, though. There are rich motherfuckers at every institution around the country
then
that are
explain
bankrolling
Texas Tech. Then explain Texas Tech. They got that kid, what's his name? Cole Campbell or whatever. That's this booster. He's worth $1 billion. And Texas Tech goes from being nothing to being in the playoffs this year. Like, there is something to be said about how much money is sitting there that can help you, because it's not just, oh, everybody gets the same amount of money, from TV deals and whatever. You also can funnel in money to these collectives from these boosters. And that's why an Indiana and a Texas Tech all of a sudden are starting to make strides immediately.
And
Again, I am not crapping on
everybody
Cignetti.
else, they figured
I'm not
it out
crapping on
first. I mean,
Cignetti.
everybody else is gonna have to play the same game, or Curt Cignetti is gonna fucking pound them into fucking dust every year.
Cignetti is just doing a better job with the new rules
than
other
anybody.
People are. That's all I'm saying.
He's got 8 4- and 5-star recruits.
That's all changing, though. That's all changing now.
Oregon had 55. He has 8.
Because men were playing against boys. Men were playing against boys helped out. Telling you.
Best coaching job I've ever seen. If he's the guy who came in and just figured out what you're saying,
yep.
Everybody else had the opportunity to do the Cignetti
so here's what I'm saying,
and they
Ricky.
didn't do it.
Let's come back in a couple years and let's look at Cignetti and see if people were able to catch up to him, or was he still able to stay above everybody? Because I just see him, he just adapted faster than other teams did. That's what I see. I don't necessarily think he's the greatest coach ever.
It's a valid point, but I think that you're selling him short a little bit here, because I mean, what's his record now at Indiana? As we sit here now, what is he? 20,
they lost to Ohio State, Notre Dame last year, and that's it.
26
they lost to Ohio State, Notre Dame last year. That's it.
I mean, they were 3-9, I think, the year before he took over. And that's about what they were every fucking year, back in the day. This guy came in and immediately started whipping ass. Immediately, and hasn't stopped doing it. So I've never seen anything like it. I mean, for Indiana to be where they are,
all right, I get
it is stunning. I've never seen anything like it. Here's one for you, Ron. As we have talked about many times, Indiana being the number 1 team in the country in a national championship game in football. In the past, Bobby Knight's got to be involved for Indiana to be in the championship of anything. And we've had some fun with this, and I had some fun with this tweet. Imagining a Back to the Future scenario where Marty comes to 2026 and then goes back and reports to Doc what he has seen. I'd like to think that it goes a little something like this. Marty, you're back from 2026. Doc, O.J. Simpson's a murderer. Bill Cosby's a rapist. Bruce Jenner's a woman. Donald Trump's president. And there was a global pandemic. Great Scott. And Indiana has the best college football team. All right, now I know you're full of shit. I think on the list, if we made a list of all of those things individually and we sorted them from most likely to least likely, all I'm telling you, Ron, is Indiana being the number 1 team in the country would not have been the most likely of those scenarios. I think maybe I could believe several of those over Indiana being where they are now. How fucking incredible is it when we talk, Ron, about teams that have a reputation, that have a history of losing, that have a history of being stepped on? Have you ever seen anything like this in terms of a total transformation?
No, man, just think about all the conversations you and I have off the air, right? And we talk about a ton of stuff, sports, politics, life, raising our kids, whatever. But imagine if 2 years ago when Indiana was 3-9, I'm like, Ricky, I heard that Indiana is looking at this Cignetti guy from James Madison. I think they're going to get him. And hear me out. I think within 2 seasons, they're going to be playing for the national championship, and they're going to be more than a touchdown favorite against Miami. What would you have said to me?
Think about that. That is a great observation, Ron. Lane Kiffin going to LSU to try to unlock the national championship there. We all get that. That's cliche. Somebody's
Sure.
always flirting and playing footsie with Lane Kiffin. It's been that way for years and years and years. But to think Indiana, fucking sorry ass Indiana, no offense, but we all know it's true. Indiana was no different than Kentucky. I grew up watching Kentucky football every year. Indiana and Kentucky, you just could throw them in the same bucket. The one thing that was sure is that neither one of them were going to be relevant. They were probably going to finish under 500. And if they had a year where they finished over 500, they were going to be playing in some C-tier bowl game against some other team that went 6-5 or 7-4. That's the best. That was the ceiling for Indiana. And they didn't get there very fucking often. To think that Indiana could go out and look for the coach that was going to turn not only their program upside down, but turn all of college football upside down. Can you imagine? It was the dude at James Madison.
Yeah.
Let's go to James Madison and find the guy that has the magic. And a guy in his 60s. Yeah. Let's go get the guy in his 60s at James Madison and see if he can't come in and undo roughly 100 years of futility that Indiana's experienced. I mean, what was it? 1945. They tied for the Big Ten championship. It had been lean for about 80 years. My mother wasn't even born in 1945. We dropped the big one, couple of them that year. I mean, it's black and white Franklin Delano Roosevelt shit. The last time that Indiana even thought about being relevant. And yet here we are. It is crazy. And Lane Kiffin, you know what? I see the energy here. Lane Kiffin, part of his problem is he's got Kevin Durant syndrome. Or maybe Kevin Durant has Lane Kiffin syndrome. How easy can I make it on myself?
Wants to be wanted.
How easy can I make it on myself too? He may want to be wanted, but he also wants the easiest fucking path that he can find to get to a championship. Kevin Durant walking away from Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City should have won a championship with Kevin Durant. They shouldn't have had to wait for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And they were right there. They almost eliminated a 73-win Golden State team. And what did Kevin Durant do? He said, you know what? Rather than come back and get over that hump and knock them off next year, if you can't beat them, join them. I'm going to go shoot fish in a barrel with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green is what happened. And you see it in Lane Kiffin, an Ole Miss team that was so good that they almost made the national championship game without him. And they didn't so much lose to Miami as they ran out of time, Ron. Right. It was one of those games where it was a 50-50 game. They just ran out of time. That was a spirited team, and Lane Kiffin had a real shot to take them to the national title game. He knew how good they were. He had to know how good they were. And yet, he looks at it and thinks, I need an even easier path. I need an even easier way to get there. Shout out to Curt Cignetti because, look, maybe that's the best gig he was going to get. You know, beggars can't be choosers, and he's the James Madison guy. What was he, 62 years old? Something like that when they hired him. I understand that, you know, he didn't have his pick like a guy like Lane Kiffin does, but still an absolutely incredible story that a guy could go into a place that has just been absolutely beyond any level of help for so long and turn it around. I don't want to hear about any big name coach at a big name program. I don't want to hear you bitch and complain and say that you can't win when Curt Cignetti is on the precipice of having an undefeated dream season, Big Ten champions, national champions, laying the wood to everybody all season long. I don't want to hear any other coaches at premier programs complain and bitch and shop around for a better opportunity to win a national title. Because if he can do it, I got to believe that these other top-notch guys, if they're as good as they think they are, they got a chance to do it too. Prize Picks. It's America's #1 fantasy sports app. And if you're watching football, be it professional, college, American announcers, or people from somewhere where they don't know a footy from a tootie, Prize Picks is for you. Now available in all 50 states. I can't speak to Australia and Ireland, but by God, you're a fucking American, so download Prize Picks. Pull up your pants and let's get to work here because I'm trying to make you some money today. And in fact, I want you to take advantage of the max discount that is going to go live Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be active through Sunday. CJ Stroud to get more than half a passing yard. All he's got to do is throw for at least 1 yard, and that aspect of your lineup is going to be locked tight. So take advantage of it. There's never been a better time to join Prize Picks because not only are you going to get the max discount, but I'm going to unlock $53 for you, and I'm going to do it very simply by telling you to use my code Ricky and play a $5 lineup and put CJ Stroud in it, for God's sakes, because that's going to improve your chances of winning. But the big deal here is, win or lose on your $5, you're going to get $50 deposited into your account with which you can begin to build your Prize Picks bankroll. Again, just use my code Ricky when you sign up. Play a single $5 lineup. Put CJ Stroud in it. I got faith in him. He's going for at least a yard passing. Make a little money there and then collect the $50 in free lineups that you're going to have that you can use to win a bunch of money and have a lot of fun. And there's never been a better time to do it with the playoff action on the schedule this weekend. Monday night, we got Miami and Indiana. If you think it's going to be fun to watch those games, just wait till you see how much more fun it is when you're playing at Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, and the place where it is always good to be right. TJ Finley has found his 7th team, Ron. Let's get the tweet up here. Take a look at this. Tell me why this is bad for college sports and bad for America, won't you?
And bad for TJ Finley. Incarnate word. That's where he's going. So I want you to look at this real quick. Look at his career arc. Look at his career arc, dude.
Where's he going to now? A fucking middle school?
Well, that's what her not year 9 will be that. But dude, he starts off at LSU, Auburn. What's that other one? I can't see that. It's too small for me. Something, then Tulane.
I don't know.
Then Western Kentucky.
Is it Kansas State? I don't know who the fuck.
Georgia, then Georgia State, and now he's going to Incarnate Word. Like he's going to end up at like.
Hey, Ron.
Ricky.
Don't talk that way about a fellow hilltopper.
No,
this guy could
mid.
probably sit down. He could sit down and he could just. This isn't a fucking judgment on my fucking school, motherfucker. It's a joke about how he wasn't at Western Kentucky long enough to be a fellow hilltopper.
Oh, I got you.
And you got to sit there and just go below the belt like Andrew Galata and just nut shot my school by calling it mid. That escalated in a way that I did not expect, Ron. I'm sorry. We can't all be buying national championships.
Yeah, we certainly didn't buy one this year. Yeah, dude, it's just a problem. 7 schools. Like what? So it's a problem for college football. It's not a problem for me. I don't give a shit what this kid does. But if I did,
it is a problem for you, Ron. Ron, it is a problem.
No,
for you.
this
you
specific
said on the program
kid.
yesterday.
Oh no, this specific
but this kid is emblematic of the problem, though.
Yeah,
his name could be TJ Finley or Frank Finley or whatever.
Bob Finley.
It doesn't matter. I went to school with a kid named Frank Finley, but he's emblematic of the problem. And you are the biggest college football fan I know. And you said yesterday on the program, surprised me a little bit, that you're actually at a point where you're wondering if this continues to go on unchecked, if it is not going to dampen your enthusiasm for your favorite recreational activity.
Yeah.
That's
picture,
serious.
Big picture, you're correct. I'm going microcosm on TJ Finley because he's an absolute nobody. Don't care. He doesn't move the needle. I'm more concerned with the needle movers. But this is just ridiculous that this is even allowed. What's he doing? Who's giving this kid advice? Like, he's not going to have a degree from anywhere because you are a professor.
Like, the fact that he started at LSU and is now like all the way down the line to Incarnate Word,
top of the mountaintop.
That's perhaps the first indication that like this has not been going well for TJ.
Yeah, he was at the top of the
He's one step away. His
mountaintop.
next one's going to be making pizzas at Domino's, bro.
Well,
I mean, there's
guess
not very
what?
far that you can fall. He's going to be like interning on the Ricky Cobb Show. Is going to be his 8th stop.
Well, he's not going to have a degree because you are a professor. You just don't transfer your. First of all, he probably didn't have any credits because he was never anywhere long enough to get any credits. And again, I'm back to how do we not have players that are academically ineligible anymore? It was happening all the time in the 80s and 90s, and I don't understand what's happening. He's not going to be able to get a job. He's not. I mean, not a good job, anyways. But yeah, we just can't have just player. Hey, I'm going to go here, and I'm not happy here. I'm going to go here. Well, they said I was going to start, and I never got to play, so now I'm going to go here. And it's like, dude, you started basically at the top of the mountain at LSU, and now you're at Incarnate Word, which the only reason I even know anything about them is because that's where Cam Ward started. That's like, what the hell?
Some of these schools need to start drawing the line for their own good as well. And I know some of them are desperate and thirsty, and they're looking for any kind of athleticism they can find. I'm sure Incarnate Word isn't exactly stocked with 5-star players. No. But you know what? Once you've been to 3 or 4 schools, I don't want you. If I'm a coach, I don't want you because that tells me something about you. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want the kid who's coming in and my school's going to be his 4th program in 4 years.
Let alone 7th.
I'll get somebody else. I don't need that kid. And I know it's the system, and it doesn't mean that they're bad kids. But look, we have talked so much, Ron, about how out of control it is. We always say it's the Wild West. There are no rules. There is no sheriff in town. The U.S. Marshals are nowhere to be found. And here's what's going to make it better, Ron. Let's loosen the red shirt restriction. Shall we? That'll fix it. That'll make things better. Let's loosen the fucking red shirt rules. Take a look at this, Ron. You can't make it up. Pending committee approval. You see the tweet here.
Who came up with this
Players
idea?
Players can now play in 9 games and keep their red shirt instead of 4. Coaches have agreed to it.
Why?
The coaches have decided that this is better, probably because each of them selfishly, I don't fucking know. You take what slight skeleton there is of some oversight, and then you loosen that even further. Like, everybody knows the problem is that the fucking babysitter's dead. Okay? The babysitter's dead. And you got fucking, kids in the kitchen making grilled cheese sandwiches. People are outside shooting off fireworks in the backyard. Somebody's, doing whatever. And then we're going to decide, let's make it just even more chaotic. Let's give the players even more flexibility. Because that's the problem. That's the problem in college sports right now, is these players don't have enough flexibility. So let's let somebody play... Let's let somebody play 9 fucking games somewhere.
That is almost the whole season.
And then once we realize, right, and then it's like, well, we're 5-4, and he's a real talented kid. Yeah, red shirt, we'll use him when we have a better chance of winning, and we'll preserve that year. I'd be red shirt. If I was fucking 3-6, just fucking start red shirting everybody.
Red shirt the whole team.
It's... redshirt the whole fucking team and then just buy all new players for the next season. And then see what you have. It is a clusterfuck of the most epic proportions that I have ever seen. You want to talk about an overcorrection. This has got to be the all-time textbook definition of an overcorrection. We took a system that was unfair to the kids, and now we have created a system where it is almost like the purge. It's just whatever happens, happens, and let God sort them out. And there has to be some kind of equilibrium, because let me tell you something. If a guy like you who lives, sleeps, breathes, and eats college football, especially Ohio State football, if you're at the point where it is possibly going to affect your enthusiasm for the thing that you like the most, that says a lot about where college football and college athletics in general could be in a few short years if we don't figure out a way to rein this in and get it under control.